Oh, it's you again. Welcome back. Oh, hi. I know something about you. I know you've been self-conscious about your anatomy drawing skills, haven't you? Hopefully. So today, I want to show you the exact steps to go from drawing glorified stick figures to, well, drawing proper characters with great anatomy. And even more importantly, what to practice to get there. I'm Marc. I've been a professional artist for more than 200 months and now I teach art for a living. You're probably wondering, how can professional content like this be free? Well, it's not. To continue watching, you'll have to pay the class fee of either one like or one sub. I'm watching you. Uh-oh, no time. Quickly, the class is starting. Alright, class is in session. Pay attention. Today, we're going to look at the various steps that you should take to get better at drawing anatomy as fast as humanly possible. I've been teaching for years, and what I'm about to show you has consistently proven to show the most results with my students. There's of course a limit to what I can teach in a short 10-minute YouTube video because I spent over a dozen hours teaching this topic in, the context of my art school program. But I think this will be a great condensed version with actionable steps that you can take to start seeing results right away, regardless of your current skill level. If you're hungry for more though, make sure that you check out the coupon down in the video description for a huge discount on my complete art education program, valid until the end of the month to celebrate reaching 12,000 students. What? You'll be glad you did. Now, let's look at the 6 levels of anatomy skill and what to practice at any given level to effectively level up. If you're a complete beginner, start with level 1. By the way, you'll find all the levels marked down in the video timeline so that you can refer back to them easily later. Level 1 is where you should be starting if you're new to drawing characters. We're looking to build solid foundations first, using real anatomy, always. Of course, we'll be heavily relying on photo references until we reach level 6, aka level pro, because no references equals no input of new information. And if there's no input of new information, there's no learning. Using references is key here, so find yourself some good ones. I'm typically using photo packs I get on QBrush that I'll link in the description. They're affiliate links, so I get a little cut from each sale to help support the channel. Now, with a bunch of references in hand, the main exercise I recommend at this level is to draw simple volumes like boxes and cylinders over the photos directly, like this. Look at the position of the limbs and the body and try to draw simple volumes that match the same perspective as best as you can. You can always check if you did a good job by removing the photo ref to reveal the volumes you drew. If they look like a character in the same pose-ish on their own, then you nailed it. If it doesn't look like anything when the photo backdrop disappears, then you'll need a bit more practice. This exercise's emphasis is on observation first and on drawing simple volumes in perspective. 2 of the most valuable skills that you'll need to draw characters with good anatomy. Once your cylinder man can hold its own without the reference, then you're ready to move on to level 2. Congratulations. In level 2, we'll be focusing on gesture drawing, another building block towards our goal of drawing anatomy accurate characters. Starting at level 2, all following levels will only add new content to practice. So unlike level 1, gesture drawing along with the rest of the video will be things that you want to keep practicing forever. I personally might be higher level than level 2, but I still practice gesture drawing regularly. And the same goes for level 3, 4, 5, and 6. We'll just keep adding to the exercises from here until we reach max level. Now, I'm sure most of you are familiar with gesture drawing. What we'll want to practice at this level are short, medium, and long poses using photo references. The different time limits will force you to observe different things, and of course, the goal here will be to look at the reference and try to draw it as best as you can within the time frame. At first, you'll want to focus on short poses, around like 2 minutes, pretty good. Don't expect your drawing to look great, by the way. Come on, we're only at level 2, but you should at least aim to draw glorified stick figures. I'll usually start with the main lines of gesture for the body, always making sure that I use curved lines to focus on the energy of the pose. Avoid straight lines like the plague. You can start with a reference right next to your drawing area and increase difficulty by moving the reference away or like scaling it down. Once you've highlighted the overall gesture, you can start to add some meat to the bones by giving the body parts their volume. As this gets easier, you'll want to increase the time and focus more on the details like the hands and the feet, because those add a lot to the gesture of a character. And all of this while trying your best to focus on clean, deliberate lines. If you're looking to improve your line art, by the way, I have a popular class that I'll link in the top right corner of the screen, and you might want to check it out. I'll link it in the description below as well. Now, as you practice gesture drawing, the number of lines that you use to draw the full figure will start to go down. You'll use less and less, and speed will pick up, and you'll be able to achieve more with the same time limits. And that's a good sign that you're ready to move on to level 3. Wow, well done. Now, at level 3, you should be able to somewhat draw characters that look decent while using references. You don't expect to have the characters to have too much details, but you should at least have correct proportions thanks to all the gesture drawing practice that you've had so far. At this level, we'll start to distance ourselves from the references and focus on construction more. Essentially, a simple way to draw the human body that will allow you to draw simple poses from imagination eventually. We'll practice drawing the construction recipe with a heavy reliance on references to get the pose and proportions right at first, and slowly, as you build more confidence, you'll be able to distance yourself from the references and start to draw cool poses on your own. But that'll take some practice. Now, to learn how to construct your anatomy, how to construct characters, I'll refer you to another popular class I made on the topic. Once again, link in the top right corner of the screen here and down below. And the good news is that the hardest part is behind us at this point. Now, at level 4, the goal will be to take the constructions that you're able to draw with and without references, hopefully, and slap some muscles on it. There are a lot of muscles to learn, so we'll focus on the big groups of muscle first at this level. I also recommend you work on poses that aren't too complicated without too much foreshortening or too much perspective. This adds a thick layer of difficulty, and I'll save that for the next level. The best kind of references I would recommend at this level, at level 4, would be like male and female bodybuilder photos, where you can clearly see all the muscle definition. Practice drawing the bigger muscles or the muscle groups first, particularly those that impact the character silhouette, while ignoring the smaller muscles. And if you don't want your characters to look too shredded, well, simply remove some of the muscle detail. Level 4 is a big milestone where you should aim to draw characters with good proportions and accurate-ish muscle definition. Maybe even from imagination to some degree, but always keep the references close. This level might also feel like you've just opened Pandora's box, since there's a lot to learn when it comes to muscle and bone anatomy. But worry not. A lot of artists will kind of stop here and just polish the skills they've acquired so far. And that includes a lot of professional artists. When I joined Blizzard, for example, in 2009, I would have considered myself level 4 then. So basically level 4 is pretty good. And also, just a side note, but a few years ago, I created a full anatomy model that you can rotate around and study for free. Maybe it'll help. I'll put a link to that in the description also. Now, level 5 is a different beast. This level is important if your goal is to reach level 6, aka level pro, and of course be able to draw pretty much any character in any pose from imagination. At level 5 though, you'll still be relying heavily on anatomy references, and the focus should be to tackle all the surface muscles and become familiar with most of the bones of the body. At this level, you'll do a lot of detailed studies, study the names of the muscles, muscle insertions and origins, body parts that are foreshortened and in harder poses, maybe even studying the differences in the muscles when they are flexed or extended. This is kind of a career-long process and a level in which you'll be doing a lot of this kind of studies, while still practicing what you've seen in level 2, 3, and 4. This might seem like the most boring thing ever to some of you, but as you start learning more about anatomy, this gets incredibly fascinating. And if you're anything like me, I've only developed more interest in anatomy over the years as I expand my knowledge. The more I know, the more I want to know. It's really like a big puzzle in your mind, and as you're progressing, you slowly see it take shape and everything starts to make a lot more sense. And this brings us to level Pro. At this level, you're just having fun. There's possibly still a lot you don't know about anatomy. It's certainly my case, but the puzzle is mostly complete and you're free to construct characters in a lot of different poses and can draw the anatomy from most angles in most scenarios. This is also the level at which you'll have the most success pushing the limits of anatomy with your style. You should be able to take a lot more liberties while still keeping everything logical and aesthetic. The use of references never really goes away though. At this level, you might be drawing mostly from imagination, but you'll still always want to pull up a reference the second something isn't 100% clear. That should be how you approach it, but at the same time, if you're at that level, there's no way you're still watching this video, so let's stop and wrap up this class. The levels I talked about here should also be used as a rough measure of your skills, letting you know, based on what we saw today, if you're ready or not to move up a level. Moving up a level should be challenging, but not overwhelming. If it's the latter, just go back and practice the previous level some more. Now, did this help? I hope it did. Let me know in the comments, what do you think your current level is? And lastly, don't forget to check out the description for all the links I mentioned. You'll also find a link to download one of my 2 main custom brush packs for free. It's got over 280,000 downloads, so it's kind of popular. I think you'll like it. Oh, and don't forget to check out my art school program.
Have my own.